Hey there, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the East to West Hunts podcast. My name is Alex Gruen. I am your host. And today I really wanted to talk about your best budget hunt opportunities for the West and really why I like these, right? So I think we get caught up a lot of times in the big game hunts, and I think that's great. And I think there are some really good big game opportunities out there. But as you can see, and I'm sure you've heard, prices just are continuing to go up for a lot of things that we're applying for, whether that's the lifetime species, right? Your moose and goat and sheep, or it's like the elk tags, right? So reality is we should use our hunting licenses and other aspects of what we're applying for to our benefit. A lot of times I think we just apply, we give these states money and we don't really do anything with it. And in reality, we really could explore some of those opportunities and really enjoy some of the aspects of what these states have to offer. And at the same time, double down and go hunting for some other species that maybe either you haven't considered, or I would say they're just better DIY hunts, honestly. So let's jump into a few here. I'm going to start off with number one. I think the number one opportunity is black bear hunting. I'm just going to rattle off a few states that come to mind and I'll pose the ideas here for you. But my intention is not to give you every specific detail for every specific state. This is really to just get you on a journey of thinking about it and exploring these aspects if you maybe haven't thought about them, or maybe you have thought about them, but now you're going to be a little bit more intrigued because it's going to make sense to you, right? So here's some ideas: Arizona, Nevada, Montana, Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado. The reason that I bring these states up is just in personal experience from myself, and when I'm obviously working with clients, I think about all of the applications that I'm doing right now with clients. These are a lot of the states that many folks apply to as part of their tag application strategy. So the opportunity to, one, apply for points in these states for black bear or easily draw them, and third, do them over the counter. These are all huge opportunities. So I'll give you an example. Montana gives you an over the counter opportunity, and it doesn't really squash your fall festivities, right? So the cool part is you don't really have an expensive non-resident license to worry about here, but you got pretty good seasons. I mean, you can hunt from April 15th to the end of May in some areas, all the way till the middle of June. That's killer. And then you also have the fall opportunity, right? So the fall is going to be September to November. This is a no-brainer for me. And as somebody that's actually done this hunt personally, it's a lot of fun. And I think about these hunts in another aspect, just like doing a cow elk hunt or a spike elk hunt or maybe a deer hunt, but you want to hunt there for elk in the future. This is a really good opportunity to go into a unit, really get to see it and know it, and then have the opportunity to hunt it again down the road for a different species. So I would really use this as another way to take advantage of a different hunting season, and then also use it as scouting for down the road. So I think spring bear is a really, really good opportunity if you can get out. And, if it's not a spring opportunity for you, it can be a fall opportunity. And for $350, $400, that is a no brainer, right? Because you're not spending $800, $900, $1,200 on an elk tag. So to be able to go out, utilize this, take a benefit, I think this is a huge win. And I think more and more folks should take advantage of it. A couple of things just to note: Montana does this. Quite a few states will do this for like mountain lion or bear, but pay attention if you have to take some kind of a bear identification course to make sure you're not shooting a grizzly, or you understand the differences in between species, or they'll kind of relate it to making sure that you're paying attention to sows with cubs and so on and so forth. So just pay attention to that as you're going through regulations or whatnot. But really, really cool opportunity. A few other ones that I can kind of throw out there. Wyoming, really kind of in that same mix. It's $373. There's not a huge non-resident license that you have to purchase. So for example, if you're applying for points here for, elk, deer, pronghorn, whatever it is, this is one of those opportunities where you could go and just go hunt bear, and you're not in any more or less in the scenario there. So that's a huge win. Arizona, you do have to buy a non-resident license in Arizona when you're applying, but the bear hunting in Arizona is actually pretty good. You really wouldn't think about it because you think of a desert, but I would say Arizona bear hunting is actually pretty darn good. And a tag's $165. So yeah, you're going to have to pay for the non-resident license. You're probably applying for a bunch of stuff, right? You're applying for pronghorn, deer, elk, sheep, whatever the case is. And now you can also just throw in for a bear tag and get it for $165. To me, that's amazing. So think about those things. The last one that I'll throw out there is Colorado. Colorado's got an interesting deal because you can apply and draw bear tags. They also do something where you can get essentially a add-on, right? So you can get like an over-the-counter tag. If you drew a archery or a muzzleloader tag in a particular unit, you also could pair that and get a bear tag in that unit too. And it's pretty cheap. So just another opportunity to take advantage of that and add that into your list of potential animals that you can take. But again, that's not necessarily a spring hunt, that's a fall hunt. But again, a cool opportunity nonetheless. So bear, number one, I think you got to take advantage of that. And it's a cool do-it-yourself hunt. Number two, I really think this is a great first time Western hunt experience for some folks. The issue with this one is going to be that it's not as easy to get a tag anymore as it used to be, unless you were going guided or you know somebody that has private land, or you're going to pay for some private land access. However, in the scope of things, it still is going to be deemed, I would say, a really good do-it-yourself hunt and a better budget hunt in respect to it. So number two is pronghorn antelope hunting. I think of Colorado and Wyoming immediately that come to mind for me. And that is because you're probably applying for points. You might as well throw in and get a point for antelope if you haven't done so. And same thing in Wyoming. It's not expensive. I mean, a point in Wyoming, you're talking a little over $30, and a few points down the road will make a big difference. Now, you can draw 1 or 2 point units. However, you do have to be mindful of the fact that these are very, very heavily privatized areas. So you likely are going to have to pay for access, or you have access somehow because you know the right people. So be mindful of that. But the reality is, this is a hunt that you can partake in. It's not as physically demanding. You can drive around, glass a lot. You can have a lot of fun. You don't have to worry about waking up at the butt crack of dawn all the time. It's a good time. And same thing in Colorado. Attention hunters. Are you sick and tired of the complicated draw systems and tag applications that take place out west? Or maybe you want to plan a Western hunt, or maybe one of your dream hunts, and you don't really even know where to start. Well, that's where East to West Hunts comes in. We take care of everything for you. We'll do the tag applications. We just need to put a strategy in play for you of what you're trying to do and when you're trying to go. Whether it's short-term, mid-term, or long-term, we want to have that play and that strategy together. And when you do draw a tag, we can look at do-it-yourself options, such as hunt plans that detail out exactly how to hunt those areas, or we can get you booked with a guide and outfitter in that specific unit or area. So don't leave that hunt to chance. Give us a call, set up a time on the website, contact us on social media, whatever it is, and let's get planning towards that dream hunt of yours. And let's make it a reality. Check us out on www.east2westhunts.com. Again, that is www.east2westhunts.com. Also check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and podcast. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Compared to Wyoming, it's just not a difficult hunt. A lot of times I'm out there looking at deer or elk, and I run into antelope, and I know, I put those waypoints down of like, oh, okay, let me go look at this unit and see, because I know where the antelope are. So again, really cool opportunities to go out, and you're talking, $400 or $500 for a tag. You're not talking, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for a tag, unless you apply for the special in Wyoming. So don't apply for the special in Wyoming if that's the case. But if you were to draw, for example, a Wyoming antelope tag, it's $341. give or take, and some taxes, fees, whatever the case is that they're going to charge, and those points are pretty nominal. So I think it's a really good opportunity to take advantage of this hunt and not kill yourself on it. So really good one. Number 3, I don't think that a lot of folks take advantage of this, but I think you should. It is turkey hunting. Turkey hunting is a big one because you can get points for turkey, but in a lot of opportunity states, you can also potentially get one over the counter or very low points, and you're hunting the spring. And I think that's a really, really cool deal. So I remember distinctly the last time I was in Montana for a black bear hunt, we ran into turkeys, and immediately I was like, why don't I have a turkey tag in my hand right now? Right. So good opportunity. Those springtime dates are great. And again, if you're coinciding with another hunt, take note, put that stuff in your OnX, and then get back home and look at those dates of those hunts and look at what those opportunities are going to be for cost. But you're not talking a lot of money here, right? Yes, let's talk turkey, for example, in Colorado. A turkey tag's $188, $189. Somebody would say that that's expensive because in their home state, maybe turkey hunting is $20. I get that. But in reference of, what you're going to spend for another tag, that's pretty darn budget friendly. And again, think about what you're going to be utilizing this for as far as scouting too. I think you get a double whammy, get to experience some new country, go hunt with some buddies, and you should have a really, really good time. So Colorado is a good example for you. I think of a lot of other states in respect to that, but Montana, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, all really good states. There's others. Again, I'm just throwing it out there. You could even consider like Nebraska, Kansas, all of those states are pretty budget friendly when it comes down to it. I just think, Nebraska and Kansas, for example, again, there's a lot of private areas, especially in Kansas. So I I don't always look at that as apples to apples. I'd rather be running around on public, scouting for other things, and then utilizing that for that scenario. So that's a really good example there. And here's the last one, number 4. It's small game hunting. I think small game hunting is super underrated. I love a good rabbit or squirrel hunt. It's something that I do all the time. So I'm going to speak about it on actually the Michigan perspective, but being as somebody that's lived in Colorado and hunted small game in Colorado before, you could do the same thing, right? So seasons are super liberal when it comes to small game hunting. And a lot of times it's included with whatever license you're purchasing. So Colorado, for example, you actually purchase what they call a small game license in order to apply for other things. Well, your small game license then could be deemed good, right? It's like October to end of February, you could be hunting small game. Well, that's amazing. So maybe I'm not going to be out in the field hunting elk, but I can go out for small game and have a great time during one of those seasons. That's awesome, right? Or maybe I do want to come in February timeframe and hunt small game, take advantage of it, right? So I think that's a really, really good underrated one. You're already going to purchase it anyways with your license. Take advantage of it, right? I just did hundreds of applications for Colorado, and every single time, it's like, okay, well, I got to get the small game license. So because you got to get the license and you got to get the habitat stamp, and then you're applying away for points or whatever the case is. So I don't know, just a really good idea. In Michigan, just using it as a home state perspective, we have a base license that's called here, and it's $11, and that base license lets us small game hunt. So I can hunt squirrels, rabbits. I can pair it with a fishing license, and then we have like a sportsman's kind of style, like a combo package where we get, we can get a couple deer tags, a base license, a fishing license, and then I can buy turkey tags too. So turkey tags are $5 to apply and $15 for a turkey tag. I mean, that already just blows up so many opportunities for me to be out in the field. And then I'm using it as the same thing, right? Every time that I'm out hunting for squirrels, I'm notching down where I see deer on public because I'm going to come back now in those later seasons. And the same deal, we can hunt till essentially end of March here. So I know Michigan's not a Western state, but I'm just using it as an example of you probably have something like this in your home state to take advantage of. But if you want to get out and you want to scout and you want to make a trip out of it and have a cool experience, don't pigeonhole yourself just to like that 1 week that you're going to be able to draw the elk tag or the deer tag. Because one, maybe you can't draw that particular tag right now because you don't have enough points or the opportunities are low and you're building them up. But save those points for when you can actually draw it. Maybe it's going to be 2-3 years from now, and get out and try to hunt some other species in there. Use that as intel, have a really good time, get out there and get comfortable. It's going to be a great experience for you. And so I think these are no-brainers for cost, so the budget aspect, and really on the experience aspect for you. I really wanted to do a quick one, get you thinking about things, as this was something that was on my mind right now as I was doing a ton of applications. I just came back from a Texas Aoudad hunt, so I'm going to take you guys through what that experience was like on another episode. And as I was reflecting on that hunt and just thinking about all these applications, I was like, man, I really got to talk about the other opportunities that really are not as costly as what we really put on paper for these Western hunts for these bigger species. Because you got a ton of gear, you got to plan the travel, it's a long time that you got to prep for, the physicality aspect. Like, what if you just had things that you could do multiple times a year? Or what if you had the opportunity to go out because you did buy this non-resident license, and there are other things to take advantage of while you're building up those points. So moral of the story, take advantage of it, get out there for some other hunts, and see what you can learn in the process. I'll add my little spiel here. My new Masterclass Hunting Tags 101 just released. If you are an early adopter on this, you get 30% off. It's literally $34, guys. It's not expensive. So take advantage of it on that 30% off. Even full price, it's very, very doable as far as the cost. It's not intended to be, atrociously expensive for you. It's supposed to be something that you can take advantage of. So that is the goal. And I would love to get your feedback on it. Being the first masterclass I put together, it would be awesome to get your feedback. So I would really love to hear from you all. The cool thing is you also get access to the platform and you get access to communication. So that is pretty cool as well. And the platform that I'm using is I partnered with 360 Sportsman. So I will add a link in the description here for the episode. Go ahead and click on that and do me a favor, get that masterclass and get me some feedback and enjoy a little bit on the hunting tags perspective of research, the point dynamics, so on and so forth. It is intended to essentially give you a resource of how to put together a tag application strategy and take you through the basics of points, preference points, licenses, tags, permits, all that jazz, and really spinning your wheels on different opportunities and how to find those opportunities. So that sounds like something that you are looking for, that is your jam. On the other aspect, if you want something completely taken care of for you, which a lot of people love, and you don't want to do the research yourself and you don't want to put the time and perspective in, this is where the tag application hunt planning services come in. So please reach out as we are in the midst of tag application season. Go and head over to east2westhunts.com. Go ahead and click that free consultation button and book a time on my calendar for 45-50 minutes so we could talk exactly about what you are looking to do and if I could be assistance to you. And then we can plan accordingly from there. So it is a perfect timing to do that before we get those tags drawn and start hunt planning for the year. And last but not least, go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. That is at east2westhunts. And that's it, folks. I appreciate you listening in. If you got anything, please send me a note on Instagram or on the website, hitting the contact us button. Until next time, remember to scout, hunt, and repeat. Thanks.